Well, hello, welcome. I'm Loren Norris with Story Power. Also, Tell It Like It Is TV, the host of Leading Leaders Podcast, Meet the Messenger, and Transforming Grace TV. For the last decade or more, I have spent my time focused on studying the best communicators. Everybody from John Maxwell to Dale Carnegie. In fact, I coached the Dale Carnegie program for a little over 5 years. I've trained sales managers, I've trained pastors, I've trained politicians around the world, including government leaders in the Congo and business leaders in Brazil and ministry leaders in Cuba. And here's the one thing that I've learned without a shadow of a doubt. It doesn't take a 45-minute story to get your point across. It doesn't take a soliloquy or a soap opera. You don't have to tell everything from birth until today to make your point. What I found instead is that taking a singular incident where the incident itself makes good sense to the people you're talking to, it resonates with them. It reaches a place in their heart where there's an emotional connection and a likeness. Not an I like you-ness, but there's something similar between us. It builds rapport. And if you can learn to master the art of looking at all of the stories through the course of your life, not the story of your life, but the stories from your life. If you could pick one of those stories that would help you to close a transaction. For a real estate broker or a real estate agent, that one transaction may be worth anywhere from 1.5% to 6% of the sell price of the home, and the average home in Texas right now is about $250,000. Do the math on that. That means one good story, one good crafted story, the ability to close that transaction could be worth anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. That's a pretty big deal. I don't know what kind of business you're in, but the business that you're in requires that you communicate with people. It requires that you relate to people, that you have a story to tell to people, not your life story, but something that draws a relationship between you and them. Now, here's one other faux pas, for lack of a better word, that I see with some communicators, and sadly you even see it from professional speakers and preachers and teachers, and that is to use the story of someone else, a story that they didn't actually live through. Dale Carnegie says it this way: if you're going to tell a story, you've got to have the 3 E's. You've got to earn the right, you've got to be eager to tell it, and you've got to tell it with enthusiasm. A lot of the stories in your life have incredible power to save a life or transform a life or to close a transaction, to bring about change in someone's life. And if you're not comfortable telling them, it's going to be really hard. Sometimes comfort in that story is about how you craft it. It's the things that you add, it's the things that you leave out. Not to fabricate or make things up, but simply to be honest about what happened and be real and authentic in that story. If you can do that, and you can do it with elaborate conciseness. And by that I mean the words that you choose tell more than the word that you use. I have a friend who's quite the scholar. Dr. Randy Weiss has more than one PhD and is quite a professor as well as a teacher and a broadcaster. But when Dr. Randy Weiss writes his books, I have to go back with a dictionary and look up the words, because he's mastered the art of using one word to explain what could take 2 or 3 paragraphs if you don't know the meaning of the word. Now, there's an art form to that. When you resonate with the people you're talking to, you can use words that fit within the language of your relationship. You don't have to tell everything if that one word carries that much meaning. When I help clients craft stories, whether it's one story for the purpose of a singular transaction, or it's several stories for the purpose of a keynote speech or an ongoing coaching program, each one of those stories is very meticulously crafted. It's intentionally designed to have trigger words that cause some people to go, yeah, that's not for me, and some people to lean way in and go, that's exactly what I'm looking for. For some people to go, I don't get it, and others to go, man, you understand me. See, that ability to create attrition, that ability to magnetize your message so that some people are directly attracted to it and some are instantly determined that's not for them, really saves you a lot of time when it comes to marketing. See, the fact that in this little brief message I've mentioned that I work with business leaders, politicians, and religious leaders, some people look at that and go, you can't mix politics and religion with business. There's no way. And others go, you know, somebody who can walk across all 3 of those platforms successfully, that's the kind of person I want to deal with. I understand that. And here's what I also understand. There's a direct ROI to being able to tell your story well. And it's going to be different for everybody. For some, it's going to mean the book sale. For some, it's going to mean the ability to sell your keynote speech. For some, it's the ability to create transformation where you want it, to build your following, to build your platform, to build your name ID. And for some, it's an instant transaction to say, if I can tell this story just right, I can close the sale, and that by itself could be worth tens of thousands. For others, it could literally be saving a life. Talking someone back from a suicide, preventing the end of a relationship, saving a relationship that's on the rocks. See, all of these are things that can be done with stories. That's what makes you a superhero when you learn how to use them right. So here's my offer to you. I would love an opportunity just to demonstrate to you how your story could change somebody's life. So I'm going to make an offer that instead of a full-blown coaching program, which is usually about $1,000 a month, or the 6-hour workshop where we break down every element of the NLP and the brain science and all the other aspects of learning to craft your story, I'm going to sit with you for 30 minutes on a Zoom call right here in my studio. I'll just turn the iPad around so we can see each other. And I will walk you through taking one story from your life and selecting just the right story that fits the call to action that will generate business for you. Then we'll craft that story to the best of our ability in 30 minutes. We'll add some things and take some things out. We'll add some nuances. We'll build on the emotion that's already there. We'll build that authenticity up to a place where other people feel motivated to take action on your call to action. And then I'll invite you to record that so you can learn it, practice it, rehearse it, and use it over and over again. Now, here's my hope. That once you've done that one time, you'll pick up some of the skill sets and go, I think I can do that. But here's my expectation. That when you have that one story crafted, you're going to realize how powerful it would be to have an entire arsenal. I want you to picture in your mind for a moment, the moment from the story Elf. When they were in a snowball fight and the little boy was making one snowball and throwing it, but there were 5 of them throwing them back, and he would make one snowball and he would throw it, and there were 5 of them throwing them back, and he would make one snowball, and he realized very quickly he was being overwhelmed because he wasn't prepared for the battle that came to him. And then suddenly he looks back and realizes the elf is like a Gatling gun. He's made so many snowballs so fast and he's just slinging them with both arms. He's way overpowered the enemy. If you do any public speaking at all, even if it's just a presentation at work or it's trying to tell the story when the employer, the potential employer, the boss for your evaluation, or the potential hiring manager says, so tell me of a story when XYZ happened. If you've got an arsenal of stories like that stack of snowballs, if you can just wing them off because you're rehearsed and you're practiced and you're readied with the process to format those stories, you will be so prepared that when you walk on the platform and they say to you, I thought you had 45 minutes, but the last guy went way too long, you really only have 20. Rather than having to deconstruct your entire speech, you're ready. You have exactly what you need to take a 45-minute speech and make it a 20-minute speech and make it effective. If you have that arsenal of snowballs and the person in front of you is a 20-year-old female or a 50-year-old male, you have exactly what you need for that transaction or for that conversation. When you're sitting face to face with your loved ones and you have something you have to say, you have that snowball, that arsenal ready at a moment's notice. When you reach that point, you are a pro, not just at the ability to contrive and craft and present a story, but to understand how to dissect and represent a story. That's what I would love to help you do. So if we could walk through one story together in the course of 30 minutes and not have to pay $1,000 for a coaching program or $1,000 to go to the workshop, if I could do that for you for, let's say, what if I could do it for $97? $97, 30 minutes, my promise to you is by the time we get off that call, you will have a story. And if we don't finish in 30 minutes, you will still get that crafted story. We will work on that until we're done. Because my commitment to you is that you will have one crafted story, 90 seconds to 2 minutes, that you can use anywhere, anytime. I'll help you define who the audience is. I'll help you pull the incident out of your life that's going to be the most powerful and connect directly to your call to action. I'll help you figure out places and ways and times to use it. We'll do all of that in a single 30-minute call. My only ask is if we finish that and you feel like, wow, I could really benefit from having an arsenal of stories, that you would consider hiring me as a coach or coming to the workshop. Can we make that agreement? Great. I would love to have an opportunity to serve you. So below this video, you'll see a link. Click on that link and sign up. It's going to ask you to enter 2 or 3 dates and times so that we can schedule this, because lots of people are going to see this video and I only have so many hours in the day available. But I would love to sign you up for this one $97 session, walk through a story with you and help you find a story that can change lives right from your life to someone else's. Please give me a chance to help you with that. Again, I'm Loren Norris with Tell It Like It Is, host of Leading Leaders Podcast, Transforming Grace TV, and Meet the Messenger. And I would love to help you master your story power. Have a great day.